Welcome to the course Innovation and Design Thinking for Educators. We are thrilled to have you here as we explore how innovation and design thinking can reshape education. This course is brought to you by Professors Rahul Mishra and Nitika Seth of IILM University. Let's dive in and see what's in store. The course outline for week 1, we will be covering the new education policy and its innovative approach to education. In week 2, 3, 4, 5 and finally in 6, the following is going to be covered. The topic for week 1, New Education Policy and its Innovative Approach to Education. In session 1, we have already covered the vision, the goals, and fundamental principles of NEP 2020. In session 2, which is today, we will discuss the New Education Policy Framework. Following which, in session 3, critical thinking and interdisciplinary approach to problem solving. In session 4, we will discuss India's evolution in education policy. And finally, in session 5, accreditation and institutions of excellence. Alright, so in today's session, we will explore the following: the policy framework and its impact, changes it brings to both school and higher education, key shifts like competency-based and learner-centric education. There's a lot to unpack, but we'll keep it engaging and practical. Along with this, we have shared some reading material which is important for all our learners for today's session. Moving on. The NEP 2020 envisions India becoming a knowledge-driven society. It promotes a holistic and multidisciplinary education model rooted in Indian ethos while keeping global practices in mind. It also emphasizes nurturing entrepreneurs, fostering creativity, and driving societal progress. Doesn't that sound like a bold, forward-thinking approach? In India, Ashoka University, O.P. Jindal Global University, IILM University, and the Delhi University have promoted multidisciplinary education. The New Education Policy Framework, which is the topic for session 2. The NEP 2020 aligns with global trends, emphasizing competency-based education and experiential learning. The policy aims to improve student outcomes, teacher training, and educational infrastructure. It promotes equity, quality, and innovation, addressing challenges in Indian education. The policy has the potential for transformational change, requiring effective execution and continuous adaptation. Implementation challenges include resource constraints, administrative hurdles, and resistance to change. So, what's transformative about NEP 2020? It aims to make education more flexible, creative, and aligned with the needs of the 21st century. From critical thinking to interdisciplinary approaches, this policy touches every aspect of the education ecosystem. The goal is simple: prepare students for a world that's constantly changing. In the next few slides, we will understand the key changes brought about by NEP 2020 in school education and higher education. Goals for school education: achieving universal foundational literacy and numeracy by grade 3, to ensure that all students have basic reading and math skills early on. Shifting towards a competency-based curriculum to to promote deeper understanding and application of knowledge instead of rote learning. Offering flexible subject choices to support holistic development and cater to diverse interests and talents of students. Integrating coding and experiential learning into the curriculum to prepare students for future technological advancements and practical problem solving. Let us now move on to understanding the school education highlights. One of the key points is the restructuring of school education from the traditional 10+2 structure, which has been replaced. The following stages are important to keep in mind. In the foundational stage, which covers ages 3 to 8, including 3 years of pre-primary and grades 1 to 2, the focus will be on play-based and activity-based learning. The next stage is the preparatory stage, which covers grades 3 to 5 and is for age groups of 8 to 11. The emphasis is on discovery and interactive classroom learning. The next stage is the middle stage, which covers grades of 6 to 8 and is for age groups 11 to 14. The introduction of experiential learning across sciences, mathematics, arts and social sciences, as well as humanities. In the last stage, which is the secondary stage, which covers 9 to 12 and is for ages 14 to 18, the focus is on multidisciplinary studies with greater depth, critical thinking and flexibility in subject choices. Some of the other school education highlights are as follows. Multilingualism. Instruction in the mother tongue or regional language until at least grade 5 and preferably till grade 8 and beyond. Curriculum and pedagogy. Reduced curriculum content to focus on key concepts. Promotion of holistic, integrated and enjoyable learning experiences. Assessment reforms. Shift from rote learning to competency-based learning. Introduction of regular formative assessments and a new National Assessment Center, Parak. Inclusion of vocational education. Exposure to vocational education from grade 6 onwards with internships. Universalization of ECCC. Access to quality early childhood care and education for children aged 3 to 6 years integrated into the schooling system. Support for disadvantaged groups. Tailored strategies to ensure equity and inclusion, such as targeted scholarships and support mechanisms for socially and economically disadvantaged groups. Now let's shift to higher education. Did you know the NEP aims to increase the gross enrollment ratio in higher education to 50% by 2035? That's huge. Plus, it encourages multidisciplinary education, flexible curricula, and the establishment of a national research foundation to fuel innovation. And here's a fun fact. By 2040, all institutions are expected to be multidisciplinary. As we discussed in the previous slides, one of the aspects was to increase the gross enrollment ratio as well as introduce and ensure that all institutions carry forward interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary education. Along with this, a key highlight is the introduction of the 4-year undergraduate program with multiple exit options. You get a certificate after 1 year, a diploma after 2 years, a bachelor's after 3 years, and a bachelor's with research after 4 years. The establishment of the Higher Education Commission of India HECI for regulation, accreditation, funding and academic standards is another key highlight. Holistic education, which focuses on flexible curricula and creative combinations of subjects, the integration of vocational education with higher order skills is emphasized. Digital technology integration. The integration of digital tools and online platforms in teaching, learning, and assessments. The National Education Technology Forum has been established to enhance digital learning. Teacher education reform. By 2030, all teacher education programs are to be conducted within multidisciplinary institutions. The introduction of a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree as the minimum qualification for teaching. Institutional autonomy. Greater academic, administrative, and financial autonomy is going to be granted to higher education institutions to foster innovation and independence. The policy is ambitious, but it's backed by real metrics. Schools are adopting learner-centric methods, training teachers, and integrating digital tools. For instance, the National Education Technology Forum aims to modernize learning with online platforms. The focus is on personalization, active learning, and critical thinking. Here are some of the implementation and impact metrics for your reference. Let us now talk about the factors when we speak about implementation and impact of this policy. What does this involve? A learner-centric education, digital learning, industry-institute collaboration, academic research and internationalization, Indian knowledge system, regulations, guidelines, and frameworks. As we move on further, we will discuss each of these in more detail. The NEP 2020's learner-centric approach aims to foster an environment where students are at the center of the educational process. This includes personalized learning, where one adapts teaching methods to meet individual learning needs and preferences. It incorporates adaptive learning technologies to tailor educational content to each student's pace and level of understanding. Active learning encourages interactive and participatory teaching methods such as group discussions, projects, and hands-on activities. Promotes experiential learning through internships, field trips, and real-world examples of problem-solving tasks. Critical thinking and creativity develops students' ability to analyze, evaluate, and create new ideas. Integrates project-based learning and interdisciplinary studies to enhance creative thinking. Implementation strategies of learner-centric education under NEP 2020. According to the Ministry of Education, learner-centric education provides students with opportunities for multidisciplinary and flexibility in education, which gives them the ability to transition across courses according to their own talent and interest. For instance, a student can now combine studies in fashion with physics or bakery with chemistry, promoting a more personalized and engaging learning experience. The introduction of the Academic Bank of Credits. The policy established an academic bank of credits enabling students to earn and accumulate credits from different courses and institutions. This system facilitates multiple entry and exit points in higher education, allowing learners to tailor their educational journeys according to their personal and professional aspirations. This part is especially exciting. When students have the option of earning a certificate after year 1, a diploma after year 2, a bachelor's degree after year 3, providing flexibility to students to pursue their education as per their needs. The adoption of guidelines on National Higher Education Qualifications Framework and National Credit Framework is another implementation strategy. These represent significant strides towards creating a cohesive and flexible education system in India. Their successful implementation depends on coordinated efforts among educational bodies, institutions, and stakeholders to address challenges and ensure that the envisioned benefits are realized for learners across the nation. Here are some examples of learner-centric initiatives. The I Dream Education's impact. Organizations like I Dream Education have implemented digital learning solutions across various states in India. In Haryana, the personalized adaptive learning solution was introduced in government schools, supporting over 2 lakh students in grades 11 and 12. The curriculum aligned content. This initiative provided adaptive curriculum aligned content, diagnostic assessments, and interactive resources catering to individual learning needs. Through tailored educational tools, this project ensures that each student receives education that matches their pace and style of learning. We will be sharing this link in the reading material. You can go through it and understand it in more detail. Here are a few more examples of effective implementation in schools. The Millennium World School. Via their Millennium learning system, research-based, student-centered curriculum is replacing traditional methods. Combining technology with classroom teaching for personalized education, they are promoting blended learning. Experiential learning with hands-on approach and real-world experiences to foster critical skills. Another school, Rishi Valley School, via holistic approach, integrating academics, arts, and environmental awareness. Flexible curriculum, reducing exam pressure, allowing personalized learning, and a multi-grade method with individualized teaching pace through mixed age groups. Now we move on to success stories from the Ministry of Education. The Ministry has documented various success stories and best practices in implementing NEP 2020. These include the conservation of campus heritage buildings, the study and promotion of history, and the introduction of skill development programs like BWalk, all contributing to a more holistic and learner-centric educational environment. Some universities have introduced programs teaching scheduled tribe languages at the postgraduate level fostering inclusivity and cultural diversity. These initiatives demonstrate the practical application of NEP 2020's learner-centric approach, highlighting a nationwide commitment to transforming education in India. By fostering flexibility, integrating technology, and promoting multidisciplinary studies, NEP 2020 aims to create an educational ecosystem that is responsive to the diverse needs and aspirations of learners across the country. For a more in-depth discussion on making education more learner-centric under NEP 2020, you may find the reading material insightful. Competency-based education is another game changer. It ensures students not only acquire knowledge but master essential skills. Schools adopting CBE are fostering deeper learning and equity, making education more effective for everyone. Competency-based education is a teaching and assessment framework that focuses on students demonstrating learning outcomes and mastering specific competencies. It's designed to help students develop the skills they need for college, career, and life. Competency-based education is a major shift in school culture, structures, and pedagogy, focused on ensuring that all students succeed. We will share the link for this as well so that you can go through it in further detail. Have you incorporated any of these reforms? Please do go through the reading material for this session. Share your experience on how you have incorporated any of these reforms. What were the challenges you faced? How did you overcome these? So, what's coming up in the next session? Critical thinking and interdisciplinary approach to problem solving. Thank you all for your attention and participation. We look forward to meeting you in the next session for further discussions and collaborations.